What's up with y'all, man? I'm out here in Gonzales, Texas. I was in Lewiston, Idaho just the other day coming down the mountain. Y'all saw me out there coming down that mountain. I came down here because my boy here told me he just got out. This is my best friend, Cameron. Me and him been friends since we were 11 or 12 years old.
What's up, y'all?
We're 47 years old now. Me and him used to be locked up together out here in Texas in Brownwood, and then we was in
West Texas.
Yeah, West Texas out here by Pio. And me and him been knowing each other for the longest, man. I remember one time I was gonna get into it with these cats and on a unit, and I got sent to security. And when I got out of security, I came back to dorm 11 with him, and he was like, "Hey, you know, we going over there where them cats is." And I'm like, "Oh, no shit." And he's like, "Yeah." He said, "But man, I got your back." I didn't have to ask him for nothing.
Yeah.
So you better believe when I found him, because y'all know I got a book coming out. Okay, I've been locked up since I was 10. I didn't get out until I was 21. He'll tell you the places we've been. It wasn't no fucking punk back in the 80s. It was a
boy.
You seen a lot of crazy shit. Texas Youth Commission. Some of the places we've been, they call them gladiator schools. And I've been Brownwood, Giddings, Crockett, Corsicana, and West Texas with him, Brownwood with him, and West Texas with him.
Yeah.
And I was just so little at the time, man. I was a minority. You know, I was the one that was out of place, you know. So you didn't see very many white kids in there where we was at. And so, you know, at the end of the day, me and him done came through some of the same stuff, it turns out, that put us both there at the same time.
Yeah.
So when I write my book, I'm gonna help my brother get his shit together and get him get his book on, because this man been in and out ever since. He ain't took a break like I did. He ain't had that break. He just got out a week ago. So, you know, I'm gonna pull him up with me, because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do with my brother. You know, me and this dude know each other better than me and my own blood brother do, believe it or not. So at the end of the day, I stopped what I was doing up in Idaho, didn't I?
Yeah.
Came straight down this motherfucker.
I was so surprised. I was like, man.
He was surprised when I found him after 30-something years.
That was a shock.
Wrote him a letter in the penitentiary. I found him. Tell him.
Yeah, I didn't know who this was. I was like, man, who is this Earl Hunter dude? Yeah, some pictures come out of the envelope. You know, he's showing me his Cadillacs and stuff, and then he wrote me the letter. You know, he might not remember me, but you know, I'm a little white kid, Earl Hunter in the West Texas Boys song. You remember that? And it just snapped. It just dawned on me. I never thought I would see this guy again, man. Like, you know, it's really just a blessing, just to even see him doing this good, considering.
And he just got himself out the hole from fighting when he was on his way back with the letter, reading the letter. So see, it was some good news that he needed right after some bullshit down like that done happened.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got a book coming out, and I started reaching out to the people that was locked up with me, because my book, it's gonna be a little bit unbelievable that I done been through all that. But when I got people like this, and I got another couple other cats that was locked up with me that long, and they can tell you, he didn't get no mail, he didn't have no family, he didn't have no commissary. If I wanted the candy bar, tell him way back when I was 11 how I got a candy bar.
Earl would wait, he'd sit around, he'd watch to see who didn't eat the candy bar. So if they didn't eat all the candy bar, he'd go over there, and if they threw it in the trash, he'd go over there and go get it. Or if they didn't drink all the soda, he'd go over there and go get it. That's the only way he didn't have nobody. I'm talking about, like, you know, everybody has maybe somebody, a cousin or something, but he didn't have nobody at all. I'm talking about in the kind of place he was in, you know, having nobody at all. Y'all don't understand when I tell you I'm shocked that he's where he's at today, because you don't have nobody, man. You don't have nothing to look forward to go home to or nothing like that. It ain't a good look. So, like, boy, like, you just don't know, man.
It wasn't no being 12 years old where we was at. We watched dudes get stripped butt naked, begging for their life from other inmates. We watched motherfuckers getting, you know, you get stabbed up, raped, and dudes in there sucking dick. I mean, man, because they felt like that's what they had to do to get by.
Yeah.
And we watched all that bullshit. I played games like spades and stuff just to get some canteen money. And if your ass got up and went to visitation when we was in the middle of a spade game, you forfeited your game, and I won that shit. And that's how I made it through all them years. So, you know, and then I went from there to the penitentiary, and then I came to Kansas. And when I came to Kansas, shit was very hard. So I ended up getting in, God dang it, what do you call it? Community corrections, residential a couple of times. Some of y'all been there with me. Work release a few times. I mean, I was in the Kansas system for the longest, you know, for a couple of armed robbery cases. So, you know, to go from where I was with Cameron and back in the 80s, from 10 years old all the way up to almost 20, 21, whatever, then come here in Kansas. So, you know, that's why I started reaching out to people that I remembered. And Cameron was definitely somebody I remember when I was about 12, 13 years old.
30 plus years.
Yeah,
man.
30 plus years. And to find him in the penitentiary again was kind of sad. You know, it really was. And for him just to get out again, you can't go back no more.
Bro,
not at 47.
Old, man.
So at the point being is, I don't have really, I got maybe 2 other guys that I reached out to that are gonna be in my book that was locked up with me throughout that time, but they were just associates. Me and Cameron were friends at back then.
I think we was about the littlest folks in that place.
We was the littlest guys there, and it was hard, you know, it was hard to come through that and still come out with a good heart, you know. Now my boy, he keep going back. He have a problem with putting his hands on people. Hey, big boy, this motherfucker put his hands on everybody. But point of the matter being is that when you come from that, it's hard to break that skill. It's hard to break that life pattern. You know, somebody walk up on you the wrong way, and we was just talking about this little dude in here, and he just seen Cameron. He said, "Man, that Cameron." And he started walking up on him real slow, and I was like, "Oh my!" I'm busy to see a Rottweiler eat a Chihuahua. I was like, "I can't believe this."
I wish you could have felt my chest then.
That shit was so fucking funny. And then he gonna come up to him and shake his hand and be all excited, but he was walking up on him. I'm like, you don't walk up on people like that, man. You're a fucking retard, but whatever, man. Anyway, but I wanted y'all to meet a friend of mine and my book. Hopefully, I've been working on it for 3 years. We got about, I'd say about a quarter of the way left to finish it. So hopefully I get it done and we can get it out there. But it's people like this that's gonna be in my book that was there with me that can say he's not lying. He was here. He did do that much time. He was locked up that long. He was locked up in 2 different places with me. You know, and you can't forget an ugly face like this. I mean, my mama tried to. Anyway, at the end of the day, that's the truth. So these are the people that I reached out to, but it just so happens me and him, he was the one I looked for the longest. And because this was actually a friend of mine. The other guys were just there and they was cool with me, but whatever. We wasn't friends. So whenever he had something, I had it, and vice versa. That's the way it always was. So what's your name?
Cameron Johnson.
Cameron Johnson. Just got out of TDC. I'm out here, where we at?
Gonzales, Texas.
We're in Gonzales, Texas. That's where we at. We at the Stripes over here in Gonzales, Texas. Fuel station over here on, where's that at?
Well, 90 and 183.
90 and 183. I'm on my way to Texas City now to get a load because I rerouted myself to come down here and see my brother.
Yeah.
All right, man.